Hello, and welcome to this poetry reading. This is, as always, I read my favorite classic poems. Sometimes I explore. I'll just have a poetry book and just read stuff maybe I've never read before. You can join me. You can, if you pop in, you can make a request. If you're seeing this later, leave a comment. I always love to hear what people like, and I'm always looking for new ones to record. We also have a TikTok live, so I usually do both at the same time. So I'm gonna hit live on the old TikTok as well. And I'm just gonna start reading. If anybody has a request, we'll go with that. And if not, that's okay. We'll just keep reading. This first one is by Edgar Allan Poe, and it's called A Dream. In visions of the dark night, I have dreamed of joy departed, but a waking dream of life and light hath left me broken hearted. Ah, what is not a dream by day to him whose eyes are cast on things around him with a ray turned back upon the past? That holy dream, while all the world were chiding, hath cheered me as a lovely beam, a lonely spirit guiding. What though, what though that light through storm and night so trembled from afar? What could be more purely bright in truth's day star? Edgar Allan Poe, A Dream. Let's try another one here. Here's one also by Edgar Allan Poe called Fairyland. Dim dales and shadowy floods and cloudy looking woods whose forms we can't discover for the tears that drip all over. Huge moons there wax and wane again, 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 every moment of the night, forever changing places, and they put out the starlight with the breath from their pale faces. About 12 by the moon dial, one more fill me than the rest, a kind which upon trial they have found to be the best, comes down, still down and down, with its centre on the crown of a mountain's eminence, while its wide circumference in easy drapery falls over hamlets, over halls, wherever they may be, o'er the strange woods, or the sea, over spirits on the wing, over every drowsy thing, and buries them up quite in a labyrinth of light. And then how deep, oh deep is the passion of their sleep. In the morning they arise, and their moony covering is soaring in the skies, with the tempests as they toss, like almost anything, or a yellow albatross. They use that moon no more for the same end as before, Vitalicet. I don't even know what that word is. A tint, which I think extravagant. Its its atomies, however, into a shower dissever, of which those butterflies of earth who seek the skies and so come down again, never contented things, have brought a specimen upon their quivering wings. Edgar Allan Poe, Fairyland. Here is Alone by Edgar Allan Poe. From childhood's hour, I have not been as others were. I have not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring. From the same source, I have not taken my sorrow. I could not awaken my heart to joy at the same tone. And all I loved alone. Then, in my childhood, in the dawn of a most stormy life, was drawn from every depth of good and ill the mystery which binds me still. From the torrent or the fountain, from the red cliff of the mountain, from the sun that round me rolled in its autumn tint of gold, from the lightning in the sky as it passed me flying by, from the thunder and the storm, and the cloud that took the form when the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in my view. Alone by Edgar Allan Poe. Hey, your recent Hobbit stuff is outstanding. Thank you. Oh, I just spit. Sorry, wasn't spitting at y'all. Um, Thank you very much. I'm glad that you enjoyed that. Hey, Megs, you should definitely read that. If if you are watching this, I'm assuming if you've been on here for any length of time, didn't scroll away, you like poetry. You should follow Megs. Megs is right here in the comments, and she does what I do. You know what I mean? Reads poetry she likes, and I love hearing people read poetry. I love it. Um, so you should follow her. Let's read Annabelle Lee since Meg's mentioned that one. I really like that one too. Okay, Annabelle Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived, whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea, but we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that long ago in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above, or the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. Annabel Lee, Edgar Allan Poe. Well, I mean, it is overdone, but it's also because um, it's so good. You know what I mean? Let's read it, and I'll read it. I won't perform it. I'll read it like a poem. You know what I mean? Since it's bedtime and all. I mean, even in the play, it's delivered at a pretty low key, but still, I'll just read it like as if it were a poem. Crunk, sickness, brother. Are you sick? Get better, man. Let's see, where are we? William Shakespeare. All right. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're just reading some poetry, Geo Dunkel. We are just taking requests, reading some classics from some of the classics. Okay, so from Macbeth, this is right after he finds out his wife has died, and then he says she should have died hereafter. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. No, Macbeth. Let's see. I've got one of her books around here somewhere, but I don't think it's. I think I moved it back in the house. I don't know. I can't think of any right off. Um, Thanks, Eddie. I appreciate that. Do you have? Oh, you are very welcome. You are very welcome. Do you have any? Let's see. I can't. I'm not sure what I'm looking at there. M- Maya Angelou, requester. Do you have any ideas? Um, that is Joe Dunkel. That is Invictus by um, William Ernest Henley. We could definitely do that one. Memorizing a Frost poem called Desert. But very cool. I don't think that I've read that one before. All right, let's read Invictus. Blue Jeep, what's going on? It went good. I thought it went well. I was happy with what I sent in, so we'll see how it goes. I didn't. I mean, I haven't heard back, so but that's the nature of this business. It's kind of like baseball. If you're successful as a batter 30% of the time, you'll go to the Hall of Fame. So it's kind of like voice acting. I mean, you audition for a ton of stuff, you get a few, and try to stay as busy as you can. The let me try to find that one. Sometimes stuff that's still under copyright is hard to find if it's not like if it's in an anthology that's maybe on Amazon. But let me look for that one right after Invictus. All right, Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. There we go. Good one. Joseph, end of November, maybe middle of November, something like that. Uh, Meg's, thank you. And Meg's, you're a reader, right? If you ever want me to get you on here and you want to read something for us, you just let me know. I would love to have you. And that goes for anybody that is willing to read, that can read a poem or something. I love hearing other people read. I don't want this to be a one man band kind of a thing. I love hearing other people read because you always hear like they might emphasize something um like they inflected a certain way, then that's not how I thought about it, and no, it's just great. I think it's good to listen to other folks. I've never actually seen the movie. Okay. Okay, Megs, you just let me know. You just let me know when. Okay, here we go. Maya Angelou, come and be my baby. The highway is full of big cars going nowhere fast, and folks is smoking anything that'll burn. Some folks, some people wrap their lives around a cocktail glass, and you sit wondering where you're going to turn. I got it. Come and be my baby. Some prophets say the world is going to end tomorrow, but others say we've got a week or two. The paper is full of every kind of bloomin' horror, and you sit wondering what you're going to do. I got it. Come and be my baby. There we go. Two roads. The road not taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth, then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Good one. Mm, let's see. There's a bunch of words in there I don't think I can pronounce, unfortunately. The Having a Coke with You by O'Hara. Desert Places. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I would butcher that. I would butcher those names in there, and that's something I just hate doing because I'm real self conscious about it. For one, and then two, it's like someone has put this art. Hey, Melody, what's going on? Um, up, and then I'm just over there just chopping it like a machete through the jungle. You know what I mean? I don't like doing that. That's just a personal quirk of mine, I guess. Even when I think I know how to say it, I still get them wrong a lot of the time. But when I know, like, oh shoot, I don't know. I don't know. It's just I shy away from those. Okay, let's look up desert places. Now, what I will do a lot of the time is I'll go on YouTube and somebody has read it at some point, and then I'll say, okay, well that's how you say that, and then the next time I'll be ready. Right, the desert places by Robert Frost. Okay, desert places, Robert Frost. Snow falling and night falling fast. Oh, fast. In a field I looked into going past, and the ground almost covered, smooth in snow, but a few weeds and stubble showing last. The woods, the woods around it have it. It is theirs. All animals are smothered in their lairs. I am too absent spirited to count the loneliness in, I am too absent spirited to count. The loneliness includes me unawares. And lonely as it is, that loneliness will be more lonely ere it will be less. A blanker whiteness of benighted snow with no expression, nothing to express. They cannot scare me with their empty spaces between stars, on stars where no human race is. I have it in me so much nearer home to scare myself with my own desert places. Really good. That's good. Thank you, Megs. I've never read that. That's really good. The Joseph, far over the misty mountains cold. If you want to hear the song version of that, um, I appreciate that melody. Um, the song version of that, there's two people you need to look up. One is Eric Holloway here on TikTok. He and I have followed each other for years, and on like Instagram maybe, I don't know. We only have a couple people that follow us on there, or did, in his case. Well, we both got on TikTok around the same time last year, sometime I think, and we both had 2 or 300 people, and then one day he did something. He did some cover song, and I looked and he had like 40,000. I was like, Eric, what the crap did you do? Like that's amazing. And he's like, I sang a song. Anyway, and then now I think he's got over 2 million or close to 2 million. He's one of the deepest voices you've ever heard, and he's a classically trained bass. He's not just some dude with a deep voice. It is incredible, and his handle on here is that bass voice. Anyway, you should um, you definitely need to check out that bass voice singing "Far Over the Misty Mountains Cold" by Tolkien. But let's read it though. Kristen, what is going on? What did you do? What thing did you do? Joe Dunkel, I appreciate that. I appreciate your vote of confidence. Yeah, Peter Hollins. You know what? Eric has actually done a he and Peter did a collaboration a while back for maybe YouTube or something. It's probably on TikTok too, but you know how Peter Hollins will have a guest on there? He had Eric on. Um, excuse me. You did that Romeo and Juliet verse. Oh, sweet! I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. Yeah, Kristen here in the chat um, has a great just some great stuff on her page. Some great movie stuff. She's great. You know, follow her. um, Never tried Shakespeare. Well, that's great. I can't wait to see it. I know that you've done. I know that you've done great. Let's see that out, damned spot. That is from Macbeth. I think that's Lady Macbeth talking after she's just, well, I think her husband, you know, took out the king, and then I think Lady. Anyway, I think that's what. Isn't that what that's from? Somebody help me out. Is that what that's from? Evening in a Sugar Orchard by Far. Okay, okay. Let's definitely do that. First, um let's do where what am I doing? Out. Damned spot. Blue Jeep. I can also. Um, to me, that is the greatest. That's the greatest spicy literature ever written. I mean, it's top of the pile. I just recorded the whole thing and put it on YouTube. So if you want to hear me read the whole, it's 8 chapters, I think, um, around 20-ish minutes of like the greatest love poetry, love letters. That's it. That's the one. But yeah, we'll do a passage. We'll do a few verses from it. All right, let's see if I can find. Okay, so this is when she's sleepwalking. That's right. Um, okay, so she says, "Out, damned spot, out! I say, 1, 2. Why then, 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie! A soldier and a feared. What need we fear? Who knows it? When none can call our power to account. Yet who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him?" She's eat up with guilt. I love Macbeth. Um, that's one of my favorite plays, and one of the reasons is like it's so real. Everybody gets what they deserve. You know what I mean? They, you know, Macbeth and his wife. They are so, they do all this stuff to gain the crown, and when they get there, it doesn't make them happy. Eats them up. Um, Eddie, I don't have an original. I don't have an original to share, or that I'm willing to share. Yeah, Jubes, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. She's like sleepwalking. Uh, Kristen, that is so. I know you're directed at Joe, but I love to hear that. I love to hear your you know use your voice. Your put it on some Shakespeare. My scene is the Act Two, the one with the witches. The is that your favorite? You're saying? Okay, what? Who? Somebody asked for. Oh, Jubes. Sugar Orchard by Robert Frost. So for my YouTube friends, I have this YouTube going so I can record it and sort of save it, and then I have the TikTok live going as well. So that's where a lot of these comments are coming from, in case you were wondering. Okay, Evening in a Sugar Orchard by Robert Frost. From where I lingered in a lull in March outside the sugar house one night for choice, I called the fireman with a careful voice and bade him leave the pan and stoke the arch. "Oh, fireman, give the fire another stroke, and send more sparks up chimney with the smoke." I thought a few might tangle, as they did, among bare maple boughs, and in the rare hill atmospheres not cease to glow, and so be added to the moon up there. This, you can hear me a little better, at least on YouTube. The moon, though slight, was moon enough to show on every tree a bucket with a lid, and on black ground a bearskin rug of snow. The sparks made no attempt to be the moon. They were content to figure in the trees as Leo, Orion, and the Pleiades. And that was what the boughs were full of soon. Robert Frost, Evening in a Sugar Orchard. Peekaboo, thank you. I'm glad. I appreciate your comment on the If poem. Yeah, what a great. I love that poem. So yeah, if you ever, you know, like I was saying, actually, I just did a little. I did some Southern Witches and put it on a short on my YouTube. So a lot of times I'll take some of these TikToks and put them on YouTube as shorts. And I just did one with the three witches in three different like Southern redneck smoker voices or whatever. It's kind of fun. Um, I do love R&J, so I might keep doing more. Kristen, yes, you definitely should. You definitely should. Excuse me. Nasty fella. Okay, I think I'm good. I'm good. Okay. Eddie, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that a lot. Montana, Minnesota, New York. A lot of people have said that, and but I haven't. I haven't read anything yet. But so yes, I have thought of it, and I need to do that. But I don't own the book, and I think since it's under copyright, I don't know. I just haven't found it yet. I might do it in a bookstore sometime or something. Peekaboo, yeah, that was like the first. No, I'm sorry, not the first. I uploaded it today. So if you look in my shorts, my YouTube shorts, you'll see it. It's like the last one or second to last one. I posted it today. See if I miss anybody's thing here. So yeah, so if you like poetry, you like short stories that are, like most short stories are at least 20 minutes. And that's too long to put on TikTok, even with the 10-minute feature. So if you like full-length short stories and longer poems, like The Raven and stuff, you can check out my YouTube, and a lot of it I do my podcast as well. So you can check, links are in the bio, and you can listen to a lot of longer stuff. Let's see. Okay, let's do Joe. Witch's monologue. Okay, the Song of the Witches was probably the most recognizable of the Macbeth monologues from Macbeth. Oh, good. I'm glad you found it. It's ridiculous, but I'm glad you found that. I hope you like it. Okay. Double, double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Fillet of a finny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of the newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog, adder's fork and blind worm's sting, lizard's leg and howlet's wing, for a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble. Double, double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good. Those are some creepy old ladies. And I'm actually Hellbroth. It does. I'm intrigued. I don't. It's definitely sounds. I would be willing to try it. I don't know if I'd like it, but I do want to taste it. Maybe. But yeah, it definitely has a Scotch, you know, thing to it. It really is. It is the beginning of spooky season. Speaking of spooky seasons, probably right after this live, I'm gonna turn it off, and then on my YouTube, what I've been doing lately is one recording all these, so it's kind of like this poetry and conversation doesn't go to waste, so to speak. So I'm saving it on YouTube. So all these lives, they're on my YouTube now. But also, if I'm going to do a long story, what I like to do is I'll record myself doing it, and then I'll take breaks and I'll mess up and it's raw and unedited. But I'll do it. I'll record it, and then that live goes up, and then I'll take the audio and edit it into an audiobook where there's no mistakes or whatever, and then upload that. So then it's really essentially up twice. But tonight, The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. That's what I'm recording after this live. And that's obviously a very creepy tale. And cats and wine and old ladies. Exactly. I think of something the consistency of corn syrup for help. I think you're exactly right. I think if you pour it out, it wouldn't pour out. It'll like, you know. Yes, I am posting it on YouTube. I've done I've done several Poe pieces that are on YouTube. Obviously some poetry, El Dorado, Annabelle Lee, The Raven, and then short stories, The Pit and the Pendulum, Cask of Amontillado, Mask of the Red Death, Hop Frog. I think that's it. So tonight will be the recording of The Telltale Heart is the plan. And then I still need to do Fall of the House of Usher, Black Cat. There's several more I need to do. And I just got this big old Poe book. And no, I haven't done The Little Prince. I think that it's still under copyright. So usually I'm kind of wary about copyrighted stuff for obvious reasons. I will tell you what you do though. If you want to hear Little Prince, look on YouTube. Peter Ustinov reads it, and Peter Ustinov, if you've ever seen the old Robin Hood from the 1970s, he's Prince John, right? He's brilliant, and he reads The Little Prince, and it's amazing. You definitely should check that out. Little Prince, Peter Ustinov, Ustinov. Yes, it really is, and it's it's so good. Like, it's he does so good. Um, I mean, he sounds I mean, obviously, he doesn't make his voice sound 6, but his attitude is that of a 6-year-old. It's just he's incredible. He's amazing. Alan Pa I think I've seen, some of that. That's really cool. Yeah, I'm a Poe fan. I'm not really I'm not really a gothic type of guy, but I love Poe. Um, he maintained his childlike wonder, absolutely. Let's see. Mm, the Cask of Amontillado. I have done that one, and I did the Cask of, Amontillado in Southern. So I was thinking, like, okay, this is took place in New Orleans, let's say, at Mardi Gras. So that's kinda the thought behind that one. Mr. Darcy's Letter. I definitely could. Um, and also I'm up to chapter on my YouTube lives, I'm up to chapter 6, I think, or maybe 7 on, Pride and Prejudice, Southern. So I'm doing it live, and then when I'm all done, I'll edit it into an audiobook. But I'm just going, little by little, a chapter every couple days, and the chapters are pretty short. I don't know. Besides Dr. Pepper, I don't really like amaretto. I don't really like um, I don't know if I could handle that much amaretto flavoring. Okay, let's see if I can uh, Fairyland. Actually, just read Fairyland. That was one of the first ones I did tonight. What do you like about it? I'm always interested in, like, when someone says, "I love this thing," I always like to hear, "Why do you like it?" And obviously, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just, it's your opinion, and I like to hear why people like stuff or don't like stuff. Um, let's see. He speaks to the goth in all of us. I believe he does. I believe he does. I'm trying to find The Little Prince. I really wanna read, like, a page or something because it's such a funny book. I mean, it's just wonderful. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna read let me read the first chapter. It's pretty short, and then we'll find Mr. Darcy's letter. Okay, The Little Prince. Once, when I was 6 years old, I saw a magnificent picture in a book called True Stories from Nature about the primeval forest. It was a picture of a boa constrictor in the act of swallowing an animal. Here is a copy of the drawing. In the book, it said, boa constrictors swallow their prey whole without chewing it. After that, they are not able to move and they sleep through the 6 months that they need for digestion. I pondered deeply then over the adventures of the jungle, and after some work with a colored pencil, I succeeded in making my first drawing. My drawing number 1, it looked like this. I don't think you can really see that with the. There's drawing number 1. I don't know if you can. Anyway, it's a big hump. I showed my masterpiece to the grown-ups and asked them whether the drawing frightened them. But they answered, frightened? Why should anyone be frightened by a hat? My drawing was not a picture of a hat. It was a picture of a boa constrictor digesting an elephant. But since the grown-ups were not able to understand it, I made another drawing. I drew the inside of the boa constrictor so that the grown-ups could see it clearly. They always need to have things explained. My drawing number 2 looked like this. I don't know if you can see that little elephant. I still think the glare's too bad. My bad. The grown-up's response this time was to advise me to lay aside my drawings of boa constrictors, whether from the inside or the outside, and devote myself instead to geography, history, arithmetic, and grammar. That is why, at the age of 6, I gave up what might have been a magnificent career as a painter. I had been disheartened by the failure of my drawing number 1 and my drawing number 2. Grown-ups never understand anything by themselves, and it is tiresome for children to always and forever be explaining things to them. So then I chose another profession. I learned to pilot airplanes. Anyway, that's from The Little Prince. Mr. Darcy's letter. Where is it? Where is it, I wonder? Some French guy wrote it. Transporting. Interesting. Okay, good deal. I say some French guy because I can't pronounce his name. I cannot pronounce it. We've already discussed this, but I just don't like doing things that I know that I'm saying wrong. When I know that I'm saying it wrong, it's very disconcerting. Okay, which letter are you talking about? I think didn't he have 2? Didn't he write 2? One where he's explaining himself. Or is there only one? Maybe I'm thinking of Captain Wentworth from Persuasion. So he had a really slam bang type of a letter there. Okay, well, this one's too long to read the whole thing, but we'll read a little bit. Be not alarmed, madam, on receiving this letter, by the apprehension of its containing any repetition of those sentiments or renewal of those offers which were last night so disgusting to you. I write without any intention of paining you or humbling myself by dwelling on wishes which, for the happiness of both, cannot be too soon forgotten. And the effort which the formation and the perusal of this letter must occasion should have been spared had not my character required it to be written and read. You must therefore pardon the freedom with which I demand your attention. Your feelings, I know, will bestow it unwillingly, but I demand it of your justice. So that's upcoming very soon in my Pride and Prejudice audiobook, the likes of which can be found on my YouTube channel. That's right, Kat. Thanks. So you can read that and do with that name with what you will. All right, let's see. Trying to think. The what's your favorite book? Pride and Prejudice? Can I just say your lives are always so chill? Thank you. That's the goal, right? The chat's really nice. Good deal. Thank you. There is no twerking on here. I don't twerk. I don't I don't do what are those? I don't like to argue. No, not on here anyway. I like to argue, but not in public. So very nice. I'm glad. I'm very glad. Does the French dude have others you like? None that I know of. Doesn't mean I just don't I can't think of any. Pride and Prejudice. Nice. I love the book. I think I read it. I started reading Jane Austen when I was in the army, and it was like it was so far removed from my surroundings that I wanted to get away from. It was a great escape for me, and I kind of fell in love with Jane Austen when I was in the army. Um, it was probably 08, 09, something like that. Blue Jeep. Shoot, man. Worst thing I could say is I don't know. I think the British are, at least in Pride and Prejudice, I don't a lot of them aren't awkward at all. Now, Mr. Collins, that's a whole nother ball of wax. But like some of these people, the writing, oh, it's so good. They're so much more eloquent than I am. Quick-witted, etc. Um, yes, it was like a drink of cool water. Oh, Song of Solomon. We haven't done Song of Solomon yet. I forget somebody asked. Whoever asked for Song of Solomon, were you in here? If we still want to do that, we can. Um, Blue Jeep, was that you? I don't remember. Well, the as far as the Austin world, it was actually the opposite to me anyway. I couldn't relate to it at all, and that's why I liked it. There was nothing familiar about it to me. Everybody was wealthy. They're always going to parties. You know, um, yeah, I don't know. It was totally different. I'm surrounded by guys. Excuse me. Yes, thank you, Peekaboo. I appreciate that. Someone had actually dropped it in there, and I'm even afraid to try and say that last name. So it's like there we go. Um, and that's kind of what I liked about it, though. It was just it's so far removed. Um, um, you like the boiled potato? What a superbly featured room, and what excellent boiled potatoes. Um, I just read the whole first chapter, or close to the first chapter. Did you did you see that? But yes, I would if you missed it. George Eliot. Was that the pen name for, I forget her name, but a lady? If so, yes. I have done a couple. Okay, Song of Solomon. Mm, okay, let's see. I have done a lot of Old English. I've done Chaucer from the Canterbury Tales. I've done some Paradise Lost, a lot of John Milton stuff, poetry on time, stuff like that. Um, so, yeah. Mary Ann Evans, thank you very much. Social structure obligations dictating your existence. Exactly. And in that way, I suppose it would be like the military, because there's a lot of social structure in the military. Yeah, I could see that being a hard class for sure. His Paradise Lost, when I read it, I was blown away by his knowledge of the Bible. His knowledge of the Bible was far beyond, and he was just a layman. I don't think he was a clergyman or anything. His his knowledge of the Bible, just with how he worded things, you could just tell was far beyond a lot of like pastors and stuff. Yeah, I don't think I would want to do that as a class. I only want to do that not because I have to, because I want to, kind of a deal. So I've read a lot of that just on my own, but I don't know. I think that would take all the fun out of it if I was actually getting graded. Okay, so here is from Song of Solomon. Now you can get the whole book on my YouTube. Um, Tell me, O thou whom my soul loveth, where thou feedest, where thou makest thy flock to rest at noon. For why should I be as one that turneth aside by the flocks of thy companions? If thou know not, O thou fairest among women, go thy way forth by the footsteps of the flock, and feed thy kids beside the shepherd's tents. I have compared thee, O my love, to a company of horses in Pharaoh's chariots. Thy cheeks are comely with rows of jewels, thy neck with chains of gold. We will make thee borders of gold with studs of silver. While the king sitteth at his table, my spikenard sendeth forth the smell thereof. A bundle of myrrh is my well-beloved unto me. He shall lie all night betwixt my breasts. My beloved is unto me as a cluster of camphire in the vineyards of Engedi. Behold, thou art fair, my love. Behold, thou art fair. Thou hast dove's eyes. Behold, thou art fair, my beloved, yea, pleasant. Also our bed is green. The beams of our house are cedar, and our rafters of fir. That was from chapter 1. Well, he just spent a lot of time reading it, apparently. Um, yes, yes, please. I do Shakespeare. I love Shakespeare. That I think an awful professor or just a boring professor can really make excruciating stuff out of good content. You know what I mean? And vice versa. You can, if you have a good teacher, you can make some pretty dry stuff interesting. Thank you. Thank you. Excuse me. See if we can find old George Eliot / Marianne Evans. This is one of my favorite one of hers. Count that day lost. If you sit down at set of sun and count the acts that you have done, and counting find one self-denying deed, one word that eased the heart of him who heard, one glance most kind that fell like sunshine where it went, then you may count that day well spent. But if through all the livelong day you've cheered no heart by yea or nay, if through it all you've nothing done that you can trace that brought the sunshine to one face, no act most small that helped some soul and nothing cost, then count that day as worse than lost. George Eliot. All right. Well, it has been an hour, so I am about to get going. If nobody has any more, what do you call it, requests, and then I'm going to go over on my YouTube live to record the Telltale Heart. So I'll do it, record it live, and then get that edited up. Reese, what's going on? If you're very welcome. I appreciate that. Reese, if you got a request, I mean, I'm not in a hurry. I'm just kind of like, well, if no one has any requests, I'm gonna head on. But if you have a request, I'm happy to do one. Kat, it went good. I was happy with what I sent off. So, we'll see. Maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't. Either way, I feel good. It's one of those where it's like, that wasn't what they were looking for. But I like what I got. Sometimes, I've done auditions where I thought I was just like, it wasn't that great, and I got the part. And then other ones, I thought I nailed it and then never heard back. So it's kind of a little bit of, if you do theater or movies or voiceover, you know what I mean. Oh, Jubes, I appreciate that. I hope that is a help to you. Good deal, Reese. Yeah, all these that like I'm doing right now are on my YouTube under the lives. So I have these poetry reading lives are up there, and then of course I have a lot of other stuff under the videos and shorts and whatnot. Good deal. Well, I appreciate you all stopping by, and it was great to see you. And talk to you next time. So that was my TikTok friends. I just clicked off of that. I'm about to wrap this up and then probably shut it down and then restart another live to do Edgar Allan Poe's A Telltale Heart tonight. Now, it's obviously a scary Gothic story. If you like that kind of thing, check it out. If not, I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching.